Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily Dvar. And here's a brand new Halacha for you, and it's for Wednesday, 13th day of June. Here we go. Today, the law about the specific amount of water that should go on your hands for Netilas Yadayim, for when you wash your hands for bread. Actually, let's start with the bare minimum. The bare minimum is that 1 revi'is of water can be used for both hands, and that's it. Now, that's an incredibly small amount of water. It'll shock you, but a revi'is is just a couple of ounces, like about 3 ounces. So technically speaking, you could, get by with just pouring 3 ounces of water over your 2 hands, and that would be the bare minimum. Of course, we all try not to wash our hands that way, and that's because you could get into all kinds of technical difficulties about trying to get that revi'is to go over all of your hands. Therefore, the custom is to try to use that amount of water at least, and to do it twice. And that's why you always see people washing their hands twice. And then, if you use a revi'is of water on your hands each time, you're much, much safer. And that's why there's a custom to do at least 2 times on your hands. Now, then there is the custom also, and you may see some people doing it, of the Arizal. He was a Kabbalist of several hundred years ago, and he said that it's appropriate to wash your hands 3 times, and that's why you see a lot of people doing the Netilas Yadayim with 3 times over each hand. Now, still though, you may still be shocked because the revi'is still being 3 ounces, even if you're doing that 2 times or 3 times, it's still small, and we need to get to that too. The Gemara then says that you should wash your hands with an abundance of water, the way you see everybody doing it now, and that's why we try to do it that way also. The Chazal say that if you wash your hands abundantly with a large amount of water, you'll be abundantly rewarded from heaven, and that's why it became the prevalent custom, as you're very much used to seeing, which is people pouring the water over their hands a lot over each handful. I'll just end by telling you one thing. It's not exactly a halacha, but there are a lot of beautiful stories where rabbis knew that although it's nice to use an abundant amount of water over your hands to make sure that they're all covered each time, at least 2 or 3 times all the way up to the wrist, but occasionally when you know that some poor person is being the waiter and is forced to carry the water to you for all that washing, and then when you decide for the abundance of your blessing that you want to use a lot of water, you're actually making it more difficult for the next person to get water, and you're also making it more difficult for the poor waiter who's carrying all that water there for everyone to wash with. On occasions like that, righteous people will sometimes cover their hands with water, but not abundantly pour a crazy amount on their hands so as not to make it more difficult for other people. Remember that a huge law that goes across our entire Torah is v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Love your neighbor as yourself. So if you gotta love that waiter who's carrying the water to you, you wouldn't want to just pour out like half of everything that he just carried there just because you want to have abundant blessing. So yes, whenever the water is freely available, wash with large amounts over each hand, like a full cup over each hand, the way you're used to doing it. But if you know that it's difficult for the person carrying it there to you, then be a little bit more careful. Thanks for logging on. I'll log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.